Before this story begins, make sure you're subscribed and hit like, because once you hear what happened when humans were pushed too far, the galaxy learned the truth about humans too late. In the brief moment between arrogance and extinction, every species that ever chose to fight them made the same mistake first. They underestimated what desperation, memory, and rage could do when packed inside a fragile body. Long before the wars, before the warnings, before the silence spread across entire star systems, humans were labeled harmless, soft, emotional, weak. That assumption would become the most expensive error in recorded history. At first contact, humans offered trade, language, and cooperation. They shared star charts freely and spoke openly of peace. To older, more ruthless civilizations, this behavior looked like submission. The Dravari Empire called humans short-lived mammals with no survival instinct. The Keth Syndicate mocked their lack of natural armor. Even the ancient Yule considered them an experiment doomed to fail. The galaxy agreed on one thing: if a war ever came, humans would be the first to fall. That belief didn't just shape opinions, it shaped policy. Pirate clans tested human borders. Mercenary guilds accepted contracts against human colonies at discount rates. Small skirmishes broke out, then raids, then massacres. Every attack followed the same logic: strike fast, strike hard, and the humans would fold. They didn't. Instead, humans adapted. They recorded everything. Every loss, every betrayal, every tactic used against them. Where other species relied on tradition, humans relied on iteration. Where others fought to win, humans fought to survive. They rebuilt faster than expected, learned enemy weaknesses faster than possible, and responded with a precision that unnerved even their attackers. Still, the galaxy dismissed it as luck. The turning point came when the Vrax coalition launched a full invasion. 12 species, 3,000 warships, total confidence. The goal was simple: erase humanity before it became inconvenient. What followed was not a battle. It was a lesson written in wreckage, orbital fire, and screams that never reached open channels. Human fleets did not outnumber the Vrax, they outthought them. They didn't chase victory. They engineered inevitability. Supply lines collapsed. Command structures vanished. Planets were not destroyed, they were denied. And when the final Vrax transmission cut off mid-sentence, the galaxy finally noticed the pattern. No species survived fighting humans because humans never fought alone. They fought with memory. They fought with consequence. And once pushed far enough, they fought without mercy. The galaxy did not panic immediately after the Vrax fell. Denial came first. Analysts argued that the coalition had failed due to arrogance, not human superiority. Committees formed. Reports were written. The word anomaly appeared frequently, because admitting a truth is harder than inventing an excuse. Humans, they said, had simply gotten lucky. The next conflict would correct the imbalance. So the next conflict came. The Keth Syndicate moved quietly, the way professional predators always did. They didn't invade. They infiltrated. Human trade routes vanished ship by ship. Listening posts went dark. Colonies reported missing personnel, not explosions. The Keth believed this was the proper way to hunt humans: slow, precise, invisible. For a while it worked. What the Keth didn't understand was how humans responded to being hunted. Humans stopped broadcasting. They shut down non-essential travel. Civilian ships were armed overnight. Old mining stations became sensor traps. The humans did not send threats or ultimatums. They simply waited, watching patterns form where the Keth believed there were none. When the counterstrike came, it was surgical. Keth safe houses were hit simultaneously across 6 systems. False identities collapsed. Bribes failed. Entire cells disappeared without a single public engagement. The Syndicate realized too late that humans didn't just adapt. Tactically, they adapted psychologically. Humans studied fear the way engineers studied machines. They knew exactly how much pressure to apply before something broke. The breaking point came when a Keth Grand Executor was captured alive. No torture was recorded. No spectacle was broadcast. He was returned unharmed with one message embedded in his neural log. A complete map of every Keth operation humans had uncovered. It wasn't a threat. It was proof. Within a standard year, the Syndicate dissolved. Members fled, surrendered, or vanished. No official war declaration was ever made. But no Keth force ever again targeted a human asset. Quietly, other species began adjusting their models. Humans were no longer labeled weak. They were labeled unpredictable. which in galactic doctrine was far more dangerous. Still, some believed the humans had limits. That belief died with the Rel ascendancy. The Rel were ancient, disciplined, and technologically superior. They did not underestimate humans, they calculated them. And according to every simulation, humans could be beaten through overwhelming force. What the simulations could not measure was resolve. Humans didn't escalate to win. They escalated until the cost of victory became unbearable. The Rel won the first battles. Then the humans changed the definition of losing. The Rel ascendancy believed in structure above all else. Every fleet formation, every engagement doctrine, every contingency had been refined across millennia. They accepted casualties as numbers, losses as equations. When they confronted humanity, they assumed endurance would fail before efficiency did. History suggested no species could sustain prolonged asymmetrical pressure against the Rel war machine. Humans proved history incomplete. After losing 3 core systems, Human Command issued an order that stunned even their allies. Full strategic withdrawal. Entire sectors were abandoned. Stations were scuttled, planets were evacuated or stripped bare. To the Rel, it looked like collapse. To the humans, it was repositioning. They had learned something vital in earlier wars. Territory was replaceable. People were not. The Rel advanced into empty space, securing victory markers that meant nothing. Their supply chains stretched. Their fleets dispersed to maintain control. Humans let them. Instead of counterattacking directly, humans attacked relevance. Relay hubs failed. Refueling depots vanished. Navigation data corrupted itself in subtle ways that only became lethal weeks later. Rel ships didn't explode dramatically. They simply arrived at the wrong place at the wrong time without support. Then came the civilian resistance. Human populations behind Rel lines did not rebel openly. They documented. They sabotaged quietly. Factory workers introduced microscopic flaws. Administrators delayed approvals by minutes that compounded into disasters. Children memorized patrol routes and passed them along like playground games. The Rel never understood why efficiency kept degrading. Humans understood perfectly. When the Rel attempted psychological warfare, broadcasting images of conquered worlds, humans responded with something unexpected. Stories. Recordings of loss, of endurance, of ordinary people refusing to disappear. These messages spread faster than any propaganda, igniting resistance not only among humans, but among subjugated species who saw a model for defiance. The war dragged on. Rel victories became meaningless statistics. Human losses became fuel. Each defeat sharpened their methods. Each sacrifice refined their resolve. Eventually, Rel Command authorized extermination protocols. Entire human worlds were sterilized. That decision ended the war. Humans stopped retreating. Fleets emerged from hidden yards the Rel didn't know existed. Weapons appeared that ignored shields by exploiting physics. The Rel had dismissed as impractical. Human commanders targeted cultural centers, not populations, archives, command philosophies, symbols of permanence. The message was clear. Endurance could be broken. After the Rel withdrew, the galaxy changed its behavior without announcing it had done so. Borders shifted quietly. Military exercises near human space were canceled without explanation. Trade agreements suddenly included non-aggression clauses by coincidence. No council vote. Declared humans dominant. Yet every strategic model began treating them as a fixed variable, an unmovable constant that could not be ignored or provoked. Scholars tried to define why no species survived fighting humans, and most failed. Strength alone did not explain it. Technology certainly didn't. Humans were rarely the most advanced, the strongest, or the most numerous. What separated them was something far less measurable. Humans treated survival as sacred and extinction as unacceptable. Other species accepted loss as part of existence. Humans rejected it entirely. They remembered everything. Human history was not erased by defeat. It was preserved, studied, and weaponized. Every war fed the next. Every enemy mistake became doctrine. Humans did not reset after conflict the way others did. They accumulated experience across generations, across centuries, across stars. To fight humans once was to fight every enemy they had ever faced. The Assassin's Guild learned this lesson last. For generations, the guild had been neutral, feared, and respected. When a contract was issued, someone died. When humans began expanding influence, several powers quietly suggested a solution. The guild refused, not out of morality but statistics. Every simulated scenario ended the same way. The assassin succeeded, and the guild ceased to exist within a decade. Humans didn't hunt killers. They dismantled systems that created them. That refusal became legend. New species entering galactic society were briefed early. There were rules older civilizations followed instinctively now. Do not corner humans. Do not threaten their civilians. Do not mistake restraint for weakness. Above all, never assume they will stop once they start. Humans escalated not to intimidate but to conclude. The final proof came years later, when a minor power accidentally destroyed a human relief convoy. The apology was immediate. Reparations were offered. Humans accepted both and did nothing else. The galaxy waited tense, certain punishment would follow. It never did. That silence carried more weight than retaliation. It meant the incident had not crossed the line, and everyone understood what that implied. There was a line, invisible but absolute. Those who crossed it vanished from history. Those who respected it coexisted. No species survived fighting humans because survival to humans was not an outcome. It was an obligation. And when an obligation is threatened, humans do not negotiate with fate. They rewrite it.